Kyiv is like big city but small town, which is why I got a little special place in my heart for the hometown heroes. I mean, even the NAVI is like synonymous with Ukrainian esports. So,
how long have you been living in the Ukraine now, Kyle?
A couple years, year and a half. But I spent a lot of time there beforehand, all right? I knew I liked the city.
I noticed a trend. You notice this, Kyle? Owen, it's just every single time Kyle's like, I'm going to back this team. Why? Because, their boot camp's right down 5 minutes from me. I saw them in Ukraine once,
If this inspires anybody and you guys are at home, do feel free to tweet at Charlie Yang about Ukraine. Maybe send us some facts, reasons why you love Ukraine. Ask him if he's considering traveling to or moving there. He loves hearing how awesome Ukraine is.
Random, but okay. And also, I was just going to say, I don't know if it's a good sign for a team if Kyle's unanimously backing them. I'll be a little bit worried. Like, can we get him out of the country? We don't want this man calling us out for winning.
Well, one man we can definitely all unanimously back at this point is Always Wanna Fly, an older player who's like 30 or something like that, and he's actually at the peak of his career right now. And we've got him with an interview.
people that might not, maybe they're friends in general, maybe they're just not fans of the way that whole situation went down, from Generals. He posted a video about it, and he said, basically, we had a meeting before the major, like, we're not going to make any changes, and then April 4th, April 5th, like a day or two before the roster lock kicks in, he's gone. I understand why, you get a chance to get a generational talent like Ramsey's, also very marketable. You never know what other influences are pushing the players in a direction. That's still a big move. That's a big deal. And there might be a lot of bad karma, bad vibes going out. This is a statement win. Navi kind of need to win this because realistically, qualifying to TI, they have to be top 2 for the points, and then they'd probably have to perform with the major as well. So they can't afford to take a series off.
Yeah, especially with the roster change that they had. They are currently sitting at 14th when it comes to the DPC point ranking, outside of the
points.
top 12. So that means Navi definitely got to be able to at least get second here, if not first, be going to the major. The pressure's
So you do have to be a little clever with the time. But it's one of the only thing you can cast on the egg and indeed stop the egg from from being able to be targeted.
I love Kyle that states that, I've been watching some people play Dota and stuff. You could have just said, I saw the Reddit clip. You could have just said that,
I
Kyle.
saw it I was watching a stream, but I thought you
saw a clip of Cancel stream. Cancel had
I was watching it live, okay?
Okay, you were there live.
I was there.
Cancel fan.
Look at the clip. I was there.
Okay.
We'll check the chat.
14 months ago, baby.
Chad, if you could go ahead, you could have just said, I saw the Reddit clip. You could have just said that.
I saw it I was watching a stream, but I thought
you saw a clip of Cancel stream. Cancel had
I was watching it live, okay?
Okay, you were there live.
I was there.
Cancel fan.
Look at the clip. I was there.
Okay.
We'll check the chat.
14 months up, baby.
Chad, if you could go ahead and check that chat for us.
I was
there. Send us a screenshot.
I thought you were going to
Kyle.
I was like, I've seen the clip. Owen's like, I've already theory crafted it and tested out in practice mode potential application.
To give the original credit, I originally saw it a couple of months ago on Mythbusters. They did have it on their YouTube.
Oh,
so I was aware of this a while ago.
I didn't know that they were into Dota.
Well, no, okay, not Dota. It's a different one. It's
Dota version.
It's a Dota series, yeah.
Is it good?
Educational content.
Yeah, it's got local. You learn a lot, Carl.
All right. Yeah. Isn't there target market like 8 to 12-year-olds? You still think I'd learn a bunch?
I believe it's enjoyable for people of all ages, Carl.
I love you. The Timbersaw ban, I think, is apt. We saw that in the VP series as well. This hero, DM mentioned the shard, and he was kind of sheepish. He's like, yeah, there's some shards I think are broken. I can't tell you if Timbers is, but I'll buy it most games.
He did play it down a bit when he was like, if I need a pipe, I'll buy a pipe. But he's probably secretly like, I'm just going to cover this with some stuff that I'm going to make up.
Yeah.
He's thinking, I'm buying it every game.
It's a flamethrower. Are you telling me that's not viable?
That burns down building.
Yeah. That part is pretty insane. I don't know why they buffed that part, but then add on top of the fact that it's also even more potent for specific heroes, right? Like one of the second game he picked it up, even though they lost that game, he was up against Ursa, right? He's got his enraged status resistance. Well, it doesn't matter. Flamethrower constantly applies the slow, so status resistance doesn't do anything there. Same goes with heroes like Tidehunter, for example, and his Kraken Shell.
That's a good point. And we're going to see that, I don't think, make it out of second phase very often, and truthfully might be bumped up to first phase. I've seen Necro in both NA and China already, so I think we'll see the rise of this hero as, we witnessed it in the Alliance series, the VP series. It's this tri-core lineup, all of whom have like 2,000 to 3,000 health by 25 minutes. Percent-based damage. Enigma is going to see a lot of picking as well.
How do you change your draft to fit in a Necrophos, though, right? Because that is not a traditional offlaner. Right, it's not a stunner, it's not an initiator, anything like that. It's also not even a hero that pushes towers necessarily well, right? Like Venomancer.
It's a weird hero. It's like that's another one we're going to see more of, the removing all regen and healing capabilities. As you said, I believe the highest win rate in pub play, was that your line?
Yeah, it was. I think it was like something like 56% win rate in the Immortal bracket. It was just one of those like Dota buff stat sort of deal. But
Disruptor.
Never the biggest fan. It would make sense against Tusk as a save because you can prevent the snowball save. But I don't like it too much against Storm because you're really susceptible, both of these supports now, for just getting jumped on, and they don't have a true point and click stun.
Not for sure. I mean, Storm. Whoever Storm jumps, they're just dead. Vortex and an Ice Blast, they're going to be gone in every single move that they make early on.
But Disruptor counters Storm Spirit really hard now.
Was that?
Glimpse pulls you out of Ball Lightning.
Oh, that's a good point. Was that a 729 change?
That was when they... Yeah, it was whenever they changed it, so it same thing with Vacuum pulling you out, right?
Yeah. Also used to pull you out of Omni Slash as well, but of course Omni Slash did get buffed where you did spell immune during it. But it pulls you out of a hell of a lot of things.
Yeah, so now Storm Spirit, he zips in. It's not going to be as easy to zip out anymore. So
does it work with against Ember
I'm like
Spirit too?
90% certain about this. What's that?
Does it work against Ember Spirit as well? Because
I think so.
Because I don't think Ember's at spell immune when he's jumping to his
No. But the way it would work is you would just have to remnant. It always worked. Like it would pull you out of remnant.
If you wait until you're pulled back and then remnant, then you're going to be able to avoid
It
being
basically
dragged
would
back.
pull you back, and you'd still be remnant form, and you'd still continue to do your spirit. So
No. If you say you're jumping from A to B and the glimpse pulls you back when you're between A and B, when you're like moving to the remnant,
Yeah.
then you'll get dragged back and you're in trouble.
really,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because I don't think you're spell immune when you're jumping to your remnant.
you're not.
Yeah.
Really
But you
sure
would
about these
continue.
things, but
No, because that was
We'll
like
see.
the thing. Like playing Ember against Disrupt is always really easy because
Yeah.
you just had to time it so that you would still be in remnant travel when the glimpse actually activated.
Yeah, I think when they buffed glimpse that for the same reasons Cap said with Storm.
So yeah, it's basically it works the same as Storm. That would make sense.
I
Okay.
would wonder if Sleight of Fist
Radiant
works
team
differently than your traveling
I
time. So if
feel
you
like
slight
glimpse takes
right
you out of it
before
all
grabs
now.
you, but
It
might-
glimpse is pretty ridiculous.
Oh wow!
all
they
right,
did get
NMH
Ramses.
versus Wraith King.
Man, I gotta say though, Ramses looks odd in those colors. I mean, I'm just kind of taking it for granted. You know, first it was VP, and EG for a little while, but
Yeah.
never seen him in Navi. I'll get used to it. But that is the man himself.
10 seconds remaining.
That's the man that caused all this trouble.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how he adapts. I mean, I think this is one of the better players in Dota, but more importantly, Ramses, both on VP, you remember the phase where he was drafting,
Yep.
and on EG as well. You know, there's an interview with Arteezy and Bulba discussing how they were surprised, you know, because Ramses obviously English is not his first language. It's actually improved dramatically.
Yeah, he can speak pretty
Yeah,
good in
he's
English now,
effectively
yeah.
fluid. But when because I remember playing against him back when he was on Team Spirit, like way back when, and I loved it because we would always fist bump, and that was all we could really communicate. 4 or 5 years later, and he's able to primary or secondary shot call for an American team. But point being, there's some leadership. Even though he's obviously at a young age, I think that you can even see him being vocal during the draft. It'll be interesting to see how that'll affect Navi, their play, their synergy, and they go for an AM into the Wraith King AA Storm. This can be a little tricky. They'll give him the late game, but might have timing issues.
Navi's turn to pick.
Yeah, what's the timing we're talking about here?
BKB Storm. There's no real answer for it right now, and I'd love to see Spirit with their last pick just get something that can hopefully increase tempo. Beastmaster's a possibility,
10
of course.
seconds remaining.
LC Axe ran out. Slardar wouldn't be bad either, but they'd
5
leave them pretty
seconds
low on
remaining.
lane shove.
I'm not sure if I'd like the Beastmaster. That hero is pretty broken, though. I'm just surprised that we don't see it anywhere on this ban list, anywhere in the early picks.
Yeah.
Radiant team pick.
All right, we haven't seen a ton of Void Spirit lately, and hero did get nerfed a bit, but it's still a Spirit patch, I believe.
Yeah, I think this hero is still ridiculously strong. I don't think you care too much about the number nerfs on some of your abilities.
Yeah, it's excellent as well against the AA. You wanted something with some catching. They do go for the Slardar. Okay,
Nice.
so
I like that.
this is one of the best heroes against an Animage. The concern is just that you kind of have to be ahead. Spirit now have to be the ones making decisive movements. They need kills. They need a lot of them because their Storm needs that space. So you want Wraith King and Slardar to have like excellent games, constantly able to hunt. And Navi's team fight is a bit spooky. You're going to have to deal with the Ramses Mars. Great set. Haven't seen that one, but God, that's intimidating.
Sid, change your mind at all? You said that they might be lacking a little bit of lane shove, right? Ancient Apparition Shard is now in the game. Wraith King still gives you some skeletons and stuff like that. It's just not quite enough to your mind.
You have a story. It's just that Slardar and Tusk and AA, whenever you're 3, 4, and 5, you can say AA as a shard, but it's not real till 20 plus minutes.
Sure.
So these heroes have to get kills. If you get behind in lanes or you're forced out of an area of the map, you effectively just run in a circle. We need Slardar to have a favorable laning phase, and he's the one that forces Animage into the jungle, preferably earlier than VTune would desire.
All right, here and Kyle, break it down. Owen, do you have a prediction here for this opening game?
I really like what Spirit's got. I think Navi's playing a bit of a risk trying to run the anti-mage. I think Spirit will absolutely be able to punish it. I think the Slardar is going to have a good lane and that they're going to get a good momentum going. I believe in Toronto Tokyo's confidence of getting that first pick Storm or BKB, as you said, and they're just going to have so many heroes in the faces of Navi's cores that I don't know if Navi's going to quite be able to get the space to actually get the game and hit that timing for Anti-Mage. You know, by the time he's got his Battle Fury Manta and first fighting item, I think they'll have no trouble getting on top of the Slardar, Grosiv, and they'll shred this Anti-Mage.
All right, great. Thank you very much, Kyle and Owen. But now it's time for Moxie and Fog to take us away in this opening game of Team Spirit versus Navi.
Thank you so much, Cap. Well, it looks like the name of the game here for Team Spirit is going to be momentum-based gaming, Fog.
Yes. Battle, battle, battle. That's what we like to see anyway here. And, I mean, CIS, this is what they used to be absolutely the most known for, just run at you. So it's the style. Let's go. I mean, I completely agree with what the panel's saying. I think it is a very good aggressive draft. There is definitely high potential for Navi to take it to the later stages of the game, and they do have great team fight on the side of Navi, so maybe they will be able to make that space for the anti-mage. Maybe they will be able to battle back. But yeah, I feel like the Team Spirit has if they're able to keep that momentum going.
Well, I'm excited because, like you said, CIS region used to be known for their constant skirmishing, and recently it seems like a lot of that tempo has gotten lost a little bit. Do you think you know any reason why, or do you think that with the runes now we're going to be seeing more skirmishing?
I think the runes are going to enable a lot more skirmishing. I think that's why, heroes like this, Void Spirit, may have gotten slightly nerfed, but I think almost every single spellcast in the game for me actually got buffed. No matter what nerfs they actually have in the actual patch notes, there's so many runes. You're filling your bottles every 2 minutes, even more so than that, every 3 minutes with bounties and stuff like that. Your presence on the map is constant, so I think we're going to start going back to the trend of just nonstop battling. And it's also, we're in the beginning of a new patch, it always drives people to just make reckless plays, make reckless just attack battle rather than your usual, really thinking and critical. It's a new patch, so people are still getting used to all this stuff, forgetting bounties. We saw a 4x bounty picked up, yesterday or 2 days ago, so it's going to be interesting.
It's always fun when you get to see a lot of action early on. It makes it way more fun for us here as casters as well. But, so what does Navi have to do now to make sure that, they don't get pushed completely out of their lanes and that they have a fighting chance?
They have a very comfortable draft. I actually saw the way that they're picking, and I was like, all right, well, Navi's not changing anything. Even though they changed the player, they're doing the exact same thing. They did Mars Phoenix, all of their games in the past. Then when Mars was banned, they would do Enigma Earth Spirit, or they would do Beastmaster Earth Spirit or Beastmaster +1 Roger. So it's very standard style for Navi. I think they can bring the battle. Although we're talking a lot about how Spirit has really good fighting, 1-by-1 fighting, they are lackluster on team fight. Navi has a lot of teams. You bring those 4 heroes besides the anti-mage in, they can battle. And AM in this type of game, I think he can actually show up and fight a little bit. He doesn't sure, he's gonna go Battle Fury, but he can show up for cleanups. That's the beauty about playing versus Storm a lot of the time. You blink in Mana Void, great carry contribution, but it can be relevant.
Well, that is going to be important, but you do have to be very mindful about the item timings. Like our panel said, when Storm gets that BKB, it is going to make things a lot more difficult for them to get that favorable interaction over there on NAVI.
And I'm wondering how the lanes are really going to play out. I'm hoping for Team Spirit that the Slardar can get a good start, but I think it might be a bit tough. Disruptor is actually really good at zoning, especially versus double melee, so I think the Tusk and the Slardar are going to have to do some weird creep manipulation and stuff up there, because I am a bit worried for collapse. I think it can become a very hard lane very quickly for AM if you don't get off to a good start.
Well, it looks like he's going to dodge here a little bit, seeing at least one of the people over on NAVI over on that rune spot, so isn't going to have a terrible start like NAVI wants him to have, at least.
The battle begins.
Yeah, that was a little spooky for a second. Good thing he got that good ward up. We will have just 2 for 2 bounties, the opposite bounties that we usually see them claiming, and Spirit's still hanging around. They might want to try for some of First Blood. They're going to try to use the tag team with 3 heroes. Maybe they can actually catch somebody here. Oh, it could have.
It's looking like maybe is Roger or Ramses. Roger or Ramses. Oh, looks like it's gonna be Ramses who walks into everything here. Brambles gets thrown out here by Roger, and it's a nice try, but it's still going to be the first blood going over to Yatoro.
Love it. Great way to start the game. We're talking about this bloodthirst in action. That's a great way to start it out. Just get your nice little triple tag team working. And Mira doesn't have to TP. He can save his teleport for later on. He's going to just make the long walk to the top to go to help out the Slardar.
Definitely a nice start here for the side of Team Spirit, since they are very momentum-based. But Maposhka's getting bullied a little bit here by Roger, so he's going to have to spend a little time here, wait to regen. but is drawing the attention of the other support, which is going to give a little more free space over there to the Wraith King.
Good old Willow. One of the stronger position for has gotten buffed / changed as well too a lot in this patch. Love the synergy with Mars. He's got so much power. Good lane burst. Good lane this game too. Not only just with the Mars, but what he's up against, the AA and the Wraith King. You know, you can just dodge the stun in particular with your projectile with Shadow Realm. And it's low armor heroes. Now, Wraith King's only 2 armor, same thing with AA. Well, everyone knows Willow's attack animation is just great.
Oh yeah, it's super fun to play with. I know Sheeves is a big fan of playing the Dark Willow as well, now that they have the Shard, where you can have the Cursed Crown into Bramble proc. Pretty nice.
Yeah. And it's just been buffed, and the talents. I love unique talents. I think that's probably my thing. I've always had a lot of heroes, just very different. In specific hero talents, specific abilities. That's top, collapse.
He's looking like he's going to be all right here, though. They're getting very aggressive, which is what I like to see, for sure. But definitely having the extra body in his lane to help protect him pays off for him there.
Rune's coming out. Tokyo's trying to get the pull on Iceberg. Won't quite be able to. Iceberg actually got Toronto Tokyo under the tower with an Aether Remnant earlier, but couldn't quite finish off the kill. Some good exchanges in the mid lane. Both of them are just really battling, using that mana to its maximum. Seeing just so much mana that you have now in the mid lane.
And we are going to be, speaking of runes, seeing some more runes coming up very, very shortly. For those of you who are still figuring out all those rune timings, bounty runes do spawn at the 3-minute mark now.
Yes. Don't forget. A little awkward to get them at the 3-minute mark.
It's really awkward.
I feel like the number is bizarre, but, you know.
It feels weird to walk away, right? Like, you feel very underleveled too. Like, not underleveled necessarily, but, like, not quite where you want to be. I don't know. I feel like the rune turn, like when the times change from day to night, like that just felt so organic to me. And now it's like, okay, 3, 6, 9, 12, you know, all that. It's a lot more to consider and think about and have to worry about your positioning.
Yeah, I don't mind. Like the 6-minute one feels actually quite appropriate, right? Because you know, it's like either the catapult might still be alive. You can make your rotation to the power rune as well as supports. But yeah, I mean, the 2 and the 4-minute one, the 4 minutes still okay, but 2-minute one feels really weird or 2 and the 3 minutes and stuff like that just feel weird as your 4 position because you don't want to leave your offlaner or your carry in particular. So there's weird still.
Do you think we're going to start to see a trend of more of these cores that can sustain themselves in lane by themselves because of the fact that we have all these runes that are now coming up that need to be secured?
Maybe. I'm not sure. I don't know. I think it's still really early to feel out what people are actually doing.
I want you to be the oracle. Come on.
I'm not sure. There's always going to be those heroes that do get left alone, but I don't think they're as good anymore. You know, like Enigma got hit pretty badly, a 50-second cooldown on conversion, so there's not a lot of offlaners that feel like being left alone that much anymore in comparison.
Yeah, but on the flip side of that, I feel like the supports... it's a nice courier snipe right there.
Nice.
I feel like the supports, though, especially like your position 5, tend to wander off a little bit more now, trying to help secure these runes or skirmish early. So in that case, like, I know we've been seeing some Lifestealer. You know, we've got an Anti-Mage, someone who's got an escape. You've got a Wraith King, who is fairly, you know, durable within the lane. That's what I was considering.
Okay. Perhaps, yeah.
Spirit Brothers, of course, just trading some hits over here in the mid lane. Storm getting a little bit of a nicer setup here. 24-2, currently 17-7 on Iceberg. Willow.
So let's just put a little bit more pressure out.
Ooh, Roger, he wants this kill, but did he get too greedy here? Because Miposhka looks absolutely fine, and it's not looking so good for Roger. He's trying to break some ankles here. Juke, nice spear coming out from Ramses. Is it going to be enough? No. Yatoro gets himself a second kill.
I think not.
Got a little eager. Didn't really see all the, I guess, the stick charges and everything that Miposhka had to survive. We'll see the check for the rune. Mira sitting around that mid lane. Tokyo.
He's trying, but nope. Gets himself that nice water rune and gets to eat a little tree along the way. Down goes Ramses in the bottom lane. Miposhka, he is going to pay for this, I have a feeling. No! Is he actually going to be fine here?
Still alive.
He's still alive. He's able to just go right back to the lane. Yatoro, he wants this kill. He's hoping for one big old crit. He doesn't have it, but it doesn't matter. Third kill going over here to the Wraith King and the bottom lane.
Wow, I'm quite surprised seeing how well they're doing down there too. Versus the Mars and the Willow, which traditionally is a good lane, versus this Wraith King and AA. Yeah, they've done a great job. The chainmail pickup is big for the Wraith King. He's that much tankier, and Miposhka's actually playing like a beast. He's just manning up, he's turning actually and standing his ground versus this Willow and Mars. It's working for them right now. We can start here. 1,000 gold lead already, and they're actually getting a decent lane for Collapse. That's the biggest thing that I keep looking over. Slardar's not getting pushed away at all. They've actually done a good job of securing him some pretty solid farm and slowing down the AM a little.
Bottom lane, another initiation over here on Ramses. He's gonna proc. He's gonna get frozen into place here. Yatro walking back though, deciding that he doesn't quite want to go for this just yet.
Good harder now. Ramses has double bracer finished up, so he is very tanky.
Yeah, it's fun to look too. The fact that the Slardar, we talked about him having difficulties in that top lane. He's currently 24-2. Ramses does have a lot of denies here, but he is 24-11 now.
Radiant
James Courier though gets sniped.
Does that have anything on it?
I don't.
I think he got on the way back. It looks like.
Yeah. Drag back here from Toronto, Tokyo. He's got his 6 though. He's zipping away. He sidesteps around. Oh, he wanted that room, but he's not going to be able to get it because Iceberg just a little bit faster there. And that Aether Remnant, of course, slowing him down considerably.
Yeah, they're continuing to just play aggressive bottom. I'm always seeing Miposhka full mana. He's always ready to go if they do get a connection. And they're going again, right away onto Ramses.
They are indeed. Brambles get tossed down, but again, he is frozen into place, and he's just getting blocked off. Another kill for Yatoro in the top lane. They are trying to make something happen over here to V-Tune. Looks like Collapse might have gone perhaps just a little bit too far, so I'm assuming now it's going to be Always Wanna Fly who gets the kill. Nice glimpse back, though, over here onto Mira. He's underneath the tower. Iceberg makes the rotation and will be able to collect his first kill.
Very nice. It's all about the anti-mage, so any times that they can teleport and get him 1 or 2 extra kills, perfect. For Navi, still good for Spirit, even though they did lose those 2 heroes. They're doing so well bottom. This pressure that they're actually putting onto Ramses is super solid. Wraith King is 800 or 1,000 gold actually above his counterpart already at the start of the game. That's exactly what you would say.
Not if you're a V fan, that's for sure. And this looks like he's gonna get himself yet another kill here. The body blocks are coming out. They want to make sure that this procs, because of course Willow, she can't dodge that. Nice spear coming out, but it's not enough to save Roger.
And these two are just killers. 402 Wraith King and 204 AA. They have all of the kills. It's happened up for their team so far down here.
Just giving them the chilly fingers and the Wraithfire Blast, man. It's a scary lane.
Yep. And it's all these early items. I love that. I think they were going to see it every time because of how good Armlet is now too, and it's so valuable on Wraith King especially. For it.
Their first arena. Finds a kill on Miposhka, who's been very nicely just dodging the entire time. Yatoro not going to be able to go and retaliate with a kill of his own, but we'll trade a couple of hits anyways. The mid lane, Toronto Tokyo is going to zip back, sidestepping the brambles. It's going to be able to survive that gank. And Mira snapping up the rune.
Nice. They're going to TP mid as well. Miposhka already having such a good impact on bottom. He'll refill the mid bottle. And Tokyo's gone for full farming build. He's got 4 points in the static remnant to push the lanes out and just get that farm up.
That is the VIP treatment when you have a water boy. But the top lane, they're trying to make plays over here on the Always Wanna Fly. They find the kill. Collapse now running. They've got the snowball over the back lines here. He's trying to come back in. Not going to be able to do it. They managed to get the kill on Collapse.
Self-purified.
And Mira?
Trying.
They back off. They decide they don't want to let him. They don't want that kill just yet. Man, Roger just can't get a break away from Miposhka.
He really can't. Miposhka's just bullying him.
Look at this. He's going right under the tower, too.
God.
Oof. That's so... Oh, my gosh.
He almost
Look
got
at
him.
that. 60-something hit points. That's wild.
And he's gone for the max cold feet build. Since he has Wraith King, he has a decent amount of little setup stuns and stuff too with his teammates. He actually is going to get some good cold feet procs in this game, sure. V-Tune's still farming really well on the side of Navi. So all this action that's coming out, it's working well for Spirit, but this anti-mage is still going to get his timings. It's quite a big of a concern.
Is under attack.
Because I don't see the easiest ways for the side of team Team Spirit to actually push buildings, which is going to be the next biggest thing that they have to do. Sure, kills are all going to be great, but eventually you have to start shrinking the map. You have to start being able to actually pressure and get these objectives. I like that they have the Slardar a lot, because that can give them at least a Roche objective with the Wraith King pretty easily. But taking out these buildings versus this heavy team fight of Navi, it's going to be a task. And it's going to be one that they have to figure out at some point pretty soon.
I mean, on the bright side for Team Spirit, it's not like they have the greatest D push coming out from the side of NAVI. But like you said, it is difficult. It's very difficult when you don't have the best of tower hitters or any sort of, little extra creeps or minions. Rip Necrobook. I don't think anybody misses it, though.
No, definitely not. At least they have skeletons. That's the best way to push. And a good way to get kills.
Like that.
So if they can set up kills like that around the towers and then get a push going, perhaps. Fights are going to be tough still, Mira. It'll still be fine.
Yeah, Iceberg, he wanted to make something happen there, but he's not able to. Another pause.
Look at this. Do you see this? B-Tune is TPing mid. He sees a Storm Spirit with 900, 1,000 missing mana, but he has a haste.
I don't know. What do you think? Do you think he's going to make it in time? You think he can do it?
Haste. He's got the bottle going. He's gonna live with just a little bit of HP off of the actual ulti. Iceberg has no step. 4 seconds. I don't think he's gonna get it, but maybe. We'll see.
All right.
It's a lot of missing mana. There's a chance.
And you have a bottle charge over in Storm still as well, but
Yeah.
this could be very, very good for Team Spirit if he makes his rotation and he doesn't actually get anything off of it. That's time that he could have been hitting creeps and farming. We'll have to see how it all goes down.
That's the nice thing about being AM in these type of games when you are playing versus that Storm, as we said. You don't your team fight contribution. You show up, just mana void, done. Okay, I go back to farming. Bye bye. So it can work out pretty nicely if he is able to actually get this one. We're gonna have to see.
Well, indeed. So, on one side of the coin, right, you've got Yatro, who is doing very, very well with his Wraith King. I think he has 4 or 5 kills underneath his belt at this point. But on the other flip side of the things, Anti-Mage is also farming quite well. So do they get a certain amount of security knowing that their Wraith King is ahead? Or is it still just almost the same in the amounts of concern that they have to start pressuring this AM?
They definitely still have to feel the concern of pressuring. Collapse is still having a better game than I thought he was going to, but overall, the threat is still going to be looming. You've got a Storm versus Anti-Mage. They have great team fight. That's like we keep reiterating on Navi. They have a good lineup around that Anti-Mage to be able to battle at all stages. If AM gets to a point where he's online, the game is going to be extremely difficult. 30 minutes. If they aren't already, if Spirit isn't completely taking over the map with BKB Storm Spirit, this game is going to be pretty impossible. It's going to start getting really...
Yeah, I was about to ask about, the threat of BKB Storm Spirit for sure, but again, they have such incredible team fight coming out from the side of NAVI. If they can get some of these little pickoffs as well, it's going to make it a lot easier for them to be able to make space for the Anti-Mage and then eventually, take that really nice fight where they're just a bit, I don't even want to say behind, but just not as powerful and not with the right tools to deal with what they have to bring to the table.
Are you okay?
Yeah, Spirit it's going to be get maybe 1 or 2 early towers, take maybe not like a big team fight, but these pick-off fights, and then get a Roche. And then you really have to press the advantage with that Roche. Because they have the Slardar, so they'll be able to take it pretty easily, and they'll be able to actually push their advantage for it. Yeah, we'll see if they can. It's gonna be a tough task, and we've seen V-Tune do some miraculous stuff when he's on these type of matchups. The Anti-Mage versus Storm or PLs in some proper scenarios. As he's waiting in the wings.
He's still here. Gone to Tokyo, that doesn't feel like he wants to take this bait, so just gonna back off. And Anti-Mage rotates here. He'll take some of the creeps here from Iceberg, but he's going to just head right back to these camps. Go back to what he does best, hitting creeps.
Yep. Roger TP's mid, refills bottle. Ramses is actually able to stay bottom for a second rather than just chain dying to this cold feet Wraith King combo over and over again. Polska's actually starting to get some stacks going so they can get that quick item timing, that Orchid. That'll also be a big one. If Tokyo is able to get his in the next few moments, he can do a lot with Orchid versus the Void Spirit versus the Anti-Mage. It's going to shut down those cores pretty significantly. Still a bit away from it, though.
All right, well, we have a smoke coming out from the side of NAVI.
Dire's top tower is under
Mira
attack.
goes forward in
They want the
position.
Slardar.
Trying to see if he can spot any ganks. Is not, although, no. Iceberg, smoke's going to pop. Mira walking into Roger. Gonna try, but he does get taunted back. Collapse is here, but he's gonna get glimpsed away. Snowball coming out, though, will provide Mira a little bit more time. As now that Static Storm gets dropped over onto Collapse. Roger does go down because Toronto Tokyo has made his own rotations. This is not looking good for the Slaughter, though. He is going to go. The rest of the team here over on the side of Spirit. Not looking to engage now. So they drop the old monkey banana phone.
Yeah. Navi got what they really wanted, that actual Slardar. Tusk broke it. That was actually great positioning for Mira to catch that smoke there, but still they were able to get the glimpse, get the connection. Sure, they lose Roger, but they forced reaction, a lot of it.
Now they still have Arena over here on Ramses. They're going to jump forward, though, hoping that they can just burst him down fast. That the Arena does go off, but he gets hit with the snowball. And Ramses is going to go down here. Mira looks like he's possibly next. Does get the Walrus punch up. Might actually be able to get denied by Roshan. In fact, indeed he will. Curse Cat will proc over on the Ancient Apparition. It's rooted into place. The Bedlam comes out, and V2 just saunters on over and finds himself a kill on Toronto Tokyo. Where was he just farming over there?
I think he was just escaping from everything that happened, and V2 just blinks and gets on top of him. Great job from the A, coming in and cleaning up. That's exactly what he needs to do, and Ramses gets the ult off. He doesn't die initially, actually gets them 3 kills, well, 2 kills and a Roche kill onto that Tusk. Not bad. Bad for Navi.
They take this.
Dire's top tower is
Level
under
10 now over on Wraith King's got his armlet finished up, is working on the Radiance. Next.
are fortified.
I still have good timing. Tokyo got slowed down a lot there, though. He would have had his Orchid if he gets away there. Then he'd be able to make some big play for the next thing. Now it's going to be delayed a little bit. Gives Navi a little bit more time. And the time has been bought pretty much for that battle period. It's about to be finished up. So AM still in a good position, and Team
Dire's
Spirit
top tower
been able
is
to really
under
knock on
attack.
towers too much. Collapse really trying up top.
Radiant's
To
bottom
get this
tower
one soon.
is under
That's going to
attack.
give himself his little dagger, and that's going to help out. A Blink, Orchid, they're going to have a lot of different ways to make plays now on Spirit and these catches that we are getting.
Dire's top tower.
I wouldn't be surprised if once the dagger gets picked here on Collapse, and again, there it is. Now, with that Orchid on farm, I just think they become AM hunters. What do you think? I mean, AM hunters, or you know, it would be nice if you can grab Iceberg, but I think the big, the target number one is, of course, V-Tune. So, smoke coming out now. On the side of Spirit.
V2 and Iceberg. And so the Iceberg does have his Yules finished up at a good timing to be able to protect himself too, and he does have the backup of his team right next to him. Arun. Bottom.
Yeah, there's the show of the Blink. Look at the Static Storm, so they get the kill on Iceberg. But there are 4 heroes over here stuck in the Static Storm. They'll end up losing to Tokyo. Ramses, though, will be next to fall as that Fear coming in here. Mira forced back. Yeah, Tro, he's not ready. He's looking, was hoping. Nice crush coming out here from Collapse. They always want to fly. A good glimpse back, though, by a bit more. Roger, not looking too healthy, but the Collapse will just kite him. And down goes the Dark Willow.
Dire's middle tower is under
That was
attack.
a man Static Storm on top of the Marzel, and it didn't matter. The Bruisers, they're just too tanky. The Slardar, the Tusk, the Wraith King, they sit in the front line. Sure, Storm does die, but they get the tower, they get what they came for, and they even ate all the ultimates. Beautiful. Great jump onto Iceberg.
Very nice play now coming out from Team Spirit. We talked about them needing momentum, and I would say that they're doing a pretty okay job as they go
Great
and they
job,
get these
yeah.
picks. Yeah, look at so this is the
Scanning.
this is the other fight. This isn't the one with the 4 people in that Static Storm. They're getting that denial here by Roshan.
We like to see Ramses, you know, he did survive for a moment there. But that great hit from Spirit. Relic already finished. This bottom lane is honestly, they own so hard. 6-0-3, AA Wraith King. This is maybe why we're seeing a rise in that AA too, just how strong you actually can be just in lane, just maxing cold feet. You know, it works so well, the combo between the two of them. They've set up your Toro for a pretty damn good game. This Radiance is going to be so early with Armlet.
That
We
you-
see the crits, you know,
Oh,
with
yeah.
the Slardar. You see how much damage he actually can do.
That, and you have to give some credit here to Maposhka because, you know, AA, he's got to be so careful with his positioning, especially when you're up against a Dark Willow who has pretty good range. He did manage to, you know, help get these kills and not even really trade either. A lot of it was just him sitting really far back. I think the one time he died in lane was when Ramses snuck around the side because he had his arena up and running. So it was an ultimate use for him. I think you're okay with that.
Yeah, and he was super low. He had to like reset out of the lane anyway at that point. So yeah, he's really done an excellent job and great aggressive plays and great aggressive wards coming out from Team Spirit so far. And yeah, just continuing to apply this pressure. So Navi
Radiant's bottom tower
probably feeling a little
is under
shaken up
attack.
after that last fight when they connected everything and it still did not go well.
Yeah, it was a beautiful static storm. Just unfortunately, they're relying a lot on Iceberg to do most of the damage, but if he gets picked off first, it makes things a bit more
Radiant's bottom
difficult.
tower has fallen.
They're going to have to park someone else on the front lines. Iceberg has to probably sit a little bit further back. They are, I mean, they look fragile. Whenever you're playing versus AA, it seems like everybody can look fragile. Just that extra little damage, that extra little pump up from both the Vortex and the Blast. Just, yeah. Even a tanky hero, Mars just does not look tanky anymore.
When the God of War doesn't even look tanky, you know there's a problem.
Spirit sticking together. Toronto Tokyo knows exactly the timing that he needs to go for this game. With the items queued up, he's got the Orchid straight into the BKB, no funny business. Good stuff from Spirit so far. And now they've got Radiance, so they've done pretty much all that they needed to do. And now the next target, as we said earlier, try to secure a Roshan. And they're going to be able to kill it really fast. It's level 12 on the Slardar, so level 2 for Rosa base. And he just finished them with the Stallion, so this Rose is just gone.
Gosh, look at these big chunks of him just being eked out. My goodness. And of course, they have one of the best Aegis carriers in the game, Storm Spirit. So I would not be surprised to see Team Spirit start to crank up that aggression even more than what they've already put on this map.
Yep, pretty much anybody you see now, you're going to be jumping. You're not going to really care too much of that Navi team fight anymore. Go for top tower if they can, perhaps. Maybe they can get the tier 2 nice and early on.
Radiant's
Sure, they'd
bottom
like to secure
tower
themselves
is
that
under attack.
outpost as well. So
Dire's top tower is
see
under attack.
the forward places. I like this. I like the way that you've got two heroes right up there that are scouting out the tier 2. Over in the mid lane to jump forward. He's got a use, but I don't think that's going to be enough to save him. Not when those shards come through. So Toronto Tokyo will go down, and Yatoro takes the tower. And I have a feeling we're going to see him wander over towards this mid tower as well now.
Yep, just keep battling. Navi is pretty broken at the moment now. Both Ramses as well as Iceberg, time and time again, have just died when they've shown their faces. I think Spirit's really starting to run away with this game. Toronto Tokyo also finds himself a regen rune, so he's really ready to go. And B-Tune, he still does not have mana, so he's not ready to join with his team too much yet, as he's walking right into them.
Walks right into them. That static storm, it doesn't manage to catch anyone here as the snowball bounces right back over here onto the side. They're going to try to, despite always want to fly, as everyone else is trying to TP out. It looks like this Disruptor, he's already used the ultimate, but he's going to go right back to that fountain. Because he's dead.
I'm getting a
Dire's
Toronto
middle
Tokyo
tower is under attack.
Really starting to dominate. They even have all these wards positioned very deeply as well, so they can see the positioning of anyone. Tokyo, with the regen, he's waiting for V-Tune. And the Ice Blast going preemptively too.
No.
But he'll blow
Dire's
that.
middle tower
Playing it
is
safe. I
under
like
attack.
it.
Dire's
Middle tower, though,
has fallen.
again, gets crumbled.
They keep pinging. They know where he is. Like the scan coming out now, collapse.
He's already out.
What this anti-mage? Yeah, he'll get out. Now he's got Manta, so now he can actually do stuff to get joined in with his team. But man, there's this Point Spirit and the Mars are just falling further and further behind, and it's not looking like a game where they're going to recover that easily. Just an overwhelming amount of damage and control that the Team Spirit draft does have.
I mean, never say never. This is Dota.
Invisibility.
You never know what can go down. But yeah, they're looking real pretty. Everything that they need to. Oh, and eventually they do manage to find B2. Manta's going to come out. Nice terrorize here. Tossed out as well. Mir hoping he can grab someone here. He's going to get arenaed here by Ramses, but he's got the snowball. He's absolutely fine. Walrus Punch. Is it now Ramses that's trapped in the arena with Mira? And now, of course, you've got Toronto Tokyo zipping on, and they even toss out the tip.
That's what happens when you miss a spear.
I mean,
instantly.
Oh, a little. All right. You know, you got to throw. Tipping Mira there.
And this is, continuing to look really difficult. Navi, even though the initiation is not perfect from Spirit, they cannot fight. They're just like immediate retreat. Need to wait for a lot longer before the anti-mage actually does want to look to get involved. And they're just hunting him. Look at this. Spirit, they just beeline across the map. They have great ward vision outside of the base of Navi, so they know they're all trapped in there. They just need to go anti-mage hunting, like you said earlier. It's the only tool, the only task they really need to tick off now is just keep hunting him. He's getting no space.
Look at the way
Nobody's
Collapse is
farming.
giving the creeps such a wide berth so they can't actually see him. They do have a ward over there, though, so... E-Tune, he shows himself. He's already used the Manta, too.
And he used the Manta.
Oh, I don't think Collapse can make it there in time. An appropriate voice line. Little sass coming out from Anti-Mage. I like it.
BKB for Storm. They've gotten all these big items now. Solar Crest on Slardar, Drums even on the Tusk, BKB Storm. Everyone's enabled. Everybody's just ready to go, ready to battle.
Oh,
Death
boy.
also has the Saints as well, too, on top. They're just, they're going to look for these fights, and they're going to be really strong. I don't know how Navi can actually kill almost anybody.
I don't know if Iceberg wants to stay here. All right, they do manage to go and bait this out pretty nicely. There's going to be a spear. It's only one, though, that they managed to catch. Followed up with the fear. Mira is going to fall as Cross Tokyo left onto the back lines. They'll find the kill on Iceberg. Tokyo still just plinking away over here at Ramses. He does have the Yules, but there's nothing that V-Tune can really hope to do over here, as now another spear will connect. On the back lines, Roger is going to get murdered by Maposhka. And they're going to retreat behind their tier 2.
They don't have the damage. Even if they connect, again, 3-man Static Storm, I believe it was, with the Mars ulti, they're just too far behind to actually have enough to finish off most of these heroes. Tusk barely actually goes down. Now they got to be careful of getting reinitiated on.
Yeah, they are. I'm surprised about that. The Aegis does get reclaimed, but always want to fly, despite the glimpse back, is going to fall. You know, it's crazy because I keep seeing NAVI, like, they start to smoke up, but the party keeps coming to them almost every single time here on the side of Team Spirit. And Yatoro, he does have a blink now. V-Tune, look at how scared he's playing.
Has to be. One stun into a follow-up stun, and he's just dead with an AA blast on top. This Wraith King is hitting him so damn hard. AA now hits level 12 too, so more little things that are just making them a little bit stronger on the side of Spirit. And Navi, they're being restricted completely in their base. Like, nobody's farming. Look at Ramses. He literally just has to handhold V-Tune to make sure that he can protect him. Iceberg can't get any space on the map at all. I feel like we saw him get the Yules at a pretty decent time. I think it was like 12 minutes.
Oh, no. Oh, that's a death to always want to fly, and Roger immediately is trying to just run. Oh, wait, does have the Curse Crown over here onto Collapse, so we'll get the stun off. Ice Blast getting tossed out as well. Ramsey's hiding in the tree line. The zip forward. Ice Blast coming in through. It doesn't quite manage to connect, though, as they're still trying to get Roger. And again, it is very difficult to take down a Willow, but with a big old walrus punch, they do manage to get the kill.
All out split push is what it's got to be here. Iceberg now finally getting a little bit of room, getting closer to his Aghanims. Anti-Mage has to just do split push, creep wave, creep cut action. Same thing for Ramses. I think just battles are off the menu for a long time now. Until V-Tune feels he can actually show up, which is probably going to be, man, maybe when he has the Scotty, but even then, he's going to have to do some weird ways of team fighting, just blinking around in and out. It's just way too much damage, way too much control. Spirit, 9,000 gold lead. Still looking for kills, too. Look at Mira and the Collapse trying to find Ramses, but not quite able to.
I mean, you got to give V-Tune some credit here. He's doing the best job that he possibly can here with this anti-mage, despite the fact that they have such a mobile team coming out from Team Spirit. It feels like if you just take one wrong misstep, you are going to get stunned, or you're going to get silenced, or any of these things. It's a very spooky
really
place.
It does feel like that 1v5. Like, they're going to have to get some beautiful connections of fears plus wall and all that, but this anti-mage has a lot of carrying to do.
We get another pause here. Smoke did break on Yatoro. He's right near Ramses. The rest of the team is behind him, and they're not aware of that right now. But if they saw that the smoke broke, this could go the way of Navi, and that either they can just back off or they can lay the trap.
Yeah, they see the Slaughter or the Solar Crest buff on the Wraith King, so they're probably like, okay, Slaughter's in the area. Let's. I don't know if they want to go on this one. This looks like it could be a disaster. They do. Ramses.
He's hanging out. All right.
More time.
They back off. Respectable. I can understand that. It's more time for your anti-mage, right? As he is in the bottom lane. He's trying to make some things happen over at Toronto Tokyo, but just not quite able to do it. He's gonna go zip around. He's got his BKB just in case here. He's gonna teleport out.
Illusion. That's the spirit. Told you a storm was coming.
But the tables have turned a little bit here, Fog, because if Toronto Tokyo is all alone, V-Tune is feeling a lot more powerful.
Yeah, when he's got the Manta, you know, it just makes it, that matchup is always a lot easier versus that Storm. It's just if the rest of them are arriving and, oh man, that was like an instant Roche spawn? I was looking at the timer, but I guess it just came up pretty much right away. Another secured Roche for Team Spirit. No way Navi makes it in time.
No way.
Now Aegis Keys and a Shard that they're going to deal with.
I think Slardar was considering getting the Shard.
I think he should. It's really strong. I want to say really strong. It's better than it was before. I like it as used beforehand.
Right.
It's pretty nice just for that little bit of extra. You don't have to apply the corrosive haze yourself. Just apply it to the stun.
I mean, it's no Grimstroke Shard, but, you know, not everything can be super,
But it does make
super broken.
It does make the radius bigger, which is one of the cool things. Sure, it applies to debuff, but the radius change, it's noticeable. 75 radius, pretty big for Slardar.
Well, again, Team Spirit has effectively cut off the map for pretty much everyone on Navi except for V-Tune. So, V-Tune trying his best, has teleported back home, though, to help defend the base, as most of these big waves are, of course, pushed in, except for the bottom one. That is going to become a bit of an issue for them. They do have an anti-mage problem.
Yeah, just a little bit of an issue with the waves. Looks like they're finishing up that next big item on the Wraith King. I guess he wants that AC before they actually look to break high ground, but it's going to be time to break high ground for them. They've got these BKBs, they've got like almost everything at the ready for them now on Spirit. BKB, you know, would be wanted for Slardar, but that's going to take time till later, so I think they can still look to apply that big pressure. V-Tune's almost ready. He's almost got his Scotty. He's almost tanky enough to maybe join into the fray. Iceberg has finally finished Ags too, so there's some very slight hope for Navi as Spirit still in commanding lead.
It is pretty scary when you take a look at those net worths. Obviously, you know, you've got Yatoro at the top, 20k, and V-Tune, you know, he's put up a great fight. He's at 16, but then the next two, 13 and 12, and then you look over at the next highest on the side of Navi, and they're just so much further behind. I don't know. I think it's still, like you said, there's the possibility, and it is Dota. Anything is absolutely possible, but it feels like an uphill climb. Even if they manage to take down the Wraith King once, can they take him down a second time?
Yeah, or even the Storm. You know, that's the thing about when you get so much overwhelming map control. It's like these Aegis and Cheeses, they really start to make things so difficult, especially when you're playing with a big team fight lineup. Because then, you know, you throw your everything, and then they just respawn and you don't actually have everything available. While we look at Spirit, their draft isn't like that. They're not really that big pull down the line. They're all about like the jump in, get the kill, jump in, get another, jump in, get another. Navi, when they commit, it's a full commit.
Right. Well, Scotty is completed now for the anti-mage, but he is going to have to be doing some skirmishing in and out of these battles, as he just isn't tanky enough to deal with the bigger boys, I guess, on this map right now.
Just look at this Wraith King. 43 armor when he's buffed up with Solar Crest. Sure, you're going to be annoying him and tickling with this mana burn and slowing him down, Scotty, but he's going to hit you back, and you're not going to hit him for almost anything with his armor.
Yeah. Is the big boy in front leading the charge? Okay, there's going to be a silence immediately, but look at this. Yatoro just giggles to himself. He says, yeah, all right, cool. I'm just going to keep hitting these buildings. Take a little nap here now that I'm stunned. Maposhka is nearby, adding a little bit of that support, but they have to be so scared, right? Because Yatoro can just hit their towers, take very minimal amounts of damage. Like, they really have to focus him down, and at any moment, Collapse could just jump on in on top of them, and Ice Blast could come out. You could have the Storm zipping through. It's just, the counter initiation is terrifying.
Yeah, I think this guy's so fast.
Oh, like that! Like Ramsey. Just, I think he was there a second ago, and they're just taking a bath in the static storm. They don't care. That's a big ultimate that's down now, and they got nothing for it.
It's minus 21 armor. Actually, sorry, minus 26 armor with the AC aura. So anyone who shows just gets absolutely eviscerated from one crit from that Wraith King.
Lord knows he's got crits.
And they're finishing up these next items too while applying this pressure, while keeping Navi in their base. Aghanim is about to be finished with the Storm. Slardar almost BKB.
Oh, he's in. He's in. Always want to fly. Absolutely eviscerated. Like you said, Roger's going to be the next one to go down. Buyback now from Roger. Wants to get himself back into the fight, but I'm not sure what he can hope to really do here as V-Tune just trying to get some of these creeps away. Ice Blast, though, they jump right in.
This game, this was some flawless execution from doing exactly the way they need to play versus this anti-mage and Navi. But Ramsey's an iceberg. The two of them, they just got owned this game. Like after that, like first, even in the beginning, actually, I like. Play it a little more passively. Just, yeah, they can't give up that many kills. They just have to be more careful.
Literal snowballs. But yeah, so Team Spirit going to take this game number 1, and I can't wait to hear what our panel has to say about it.
Oh, yes, I'm sure we've got a lot of things to be able to say about that game 1, in particular, Navi's poor performance. Of course, we're going to be talking about how to make a delicious Navi crumble after the break.
future.
Good cosplay of the Navi fans in chat, who are probably a bit disappointed by how their team played because they just got straight up punched in the mouth. You want a 4th pick in any mage, first game of the season, get wrecked? Really?
It just seemed. I mean, whenever you see a team throw out a Storm Spirit as a first pick, you know that he's played against this anti-mage counter multiple times. They don't care. They've got a plan for it. We saw that in the draft. They bring out these hard physical hitters, the Wraith King, the Slardar. AM he can't turn up. He's never able to sort of get involved in those early mid-game fights to utilize the Mana Void, the Mana Burn against the Storm, because as soon as he blinks in, he's dead. Or Vincere knows that. You see 2-on-1, he couldn't turn up. He couldn't do anything, because if he did, he would just die. Nothing's going to change. But then you got to ask yourself, why are they picking the hero in this sort of circumstance? See, Spirit, they knew exactly how to deal with it.
You key in on Roger Ramses, I'd go right back to Mapochka and Yatoro, who effectively just dumpstered their lane. Probably part of the reason AA is such a high win rate. Pair him with the stun, Cold Feet's going off 100%, and they just got kill after kill after kill. And I mean, looking at this, Navi, they just got wrecked. Like, there really isn't a way to put it. They lost their lanes. I love the way that Spirit came out to cheer. Like, this is a huge match. Like, I don't want to get ahead of myself. It's the first match we've seen either of these teams play. But Navi, you don't have much time to regroup. This is potentially your season on the line. As you said, this is the 4th team, right, in the pre-season rankings. You still have Gambit. You still have VP on the schedule. You can't drop this. Like, your hopes and dreams of going to TI get way less likely.
Oh, no, absolutely.
If you lose this.
If you consider, sure, Navi, they came second last season, but that was a season where, the two teams beneath them, ASM Gambit and Team Spirit, they had changes through the season. No one only joined the ASM Gambit, towards the very end. They only got rid of So Bad and got Mirrorslide halfway through for Team Spirit. So the two teams that were behind you, this time around, they've got the full squad. They're ready to go here, and they've been practicing, and they've been ready for a lot longer than the 10 days Navi's had with their current roster.
Well, something that's never beneath the notice of a man who has very frequently been our weatherman. He's going to be joining us here. He's got a little bit more breakdown of Navi versus Spirit.
Thank you, Cap. The laning stage obviously very impactful here in the safe lane. I think the crucial disconnect came between both Ramses, new addition to the squad, and Roger here. Ramses does move forward at this moment to try to help him go for this pressure on Mapochka, but because he dodged the Wraith King stun, I think Ramses thought, oh, okay, he's going to be fine. But then in the same moment, Roger feels like, oh, I can go for this kill. And he did get AA down to 150 health, forcing him to pop a wand. But if Ramses does commit to moving forward, then Roger doesn't get hit like 4 times by Mapochka, and he isn't able to be killed. Even his spear ended up not stunning to a tree. Roger surely feeling a little bit solo in this lane, and that was the first of many deaths that ended up happening here. And then while Roger is gone, Ramses tries to skewer this range creep, something that you do more commonly as a carry, but you have to be very careful about and not greedy about as an offlaner. He ends up getting killed here with a couple extra right clicks from Mapochka, which just kind of like continues the cascade, and then Roger feels the need to go for Mapochka kill. He ends up getting killed as well, and it's just been catastrophic ever since that first couple deaths that affected the laning stage. And ultimately, this happens many more times. We don't have time to watch all this. This turns into a really fast Wraith King Radiance at 17 minutes. Orchid is also out on Storm, which means that Storm's ability to lock down and kill Anti-Mage is a threat on the map. So with the now Aegis that they're about to get in about 10 seconds, and now Anti-Mage's lack of Battle Fury, his lack of Manta Style, it basically just restricts Navi really hardly on the map. Like, this is their safe zone. It was over here to the right, which just isn't as much space that Anti-Mage would like to be able to get around the map. So eventually what happens is he's like, there's no creeps left, I have to go for creep wave. He ends up running into the enemy team. This ends up with some supports dying, which isn't always the best thing for your team when you're trying to accelerate. And yeah, he's got Manta at this point, but the tempo was just firmly in Spirit's hand, and really it just started from that initial disconnect in the Navi offlane, so can't make that mistake again.
Thank you, Purge. Wonderful job, as always, of being able to break down the games and show you exactly how it all starts. And that laning phase was absolutely a big reason why it was such a one-sided game to the favor of Team Spirit. But that is fortunately easily corrected, right? Laning phase problems. It happens. We'll see what happens going into Game 2 and whether or not Navi can correct those behaviors We'll be right back after the break.
Feed and you are going to rely on making sure you get the room control. You know, you want to make sure you don't hit your 6 a lot slower than the Storm is, so that you're able to use the power of the hero against the other lanes, or against the Storm if somehow you can get enough denies and hold the lane so you can get a move before he gets Ball Lightning online. But it's definitely not easy. It is, of course, you know, one of Toronto Tokyo's top heroes. He was super smooth on it last. Is, of course, you know, one of Toronto Tokyo's top heroes. He was super smooth on it last season.
Yeah, and it goes to show a lot of confidence, right? I mean, he's got to have his input on his hero, and he's saying, you know what? I'll take Iceberg on either side of this matchup.
That's great. I did not consider Void Spirit that high of a priority, personally.
I think it's different for Toronto. As Spirit doing this last season, they love to get their pretty much first pick every time.
No, you're making a good Team Spirit.
10 seconds remaining.
Spirit Heroes.
There you go.
I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Turn to ban.
You know, I always expect the hard-hitting analysis to come out of my analyst and the fluff content to come out of my play-by-play caster, but apparently it's opposite day.
If it was opposite day, I'd probably have real analysis. Let's get with the cap.
All right, Phoenix is going to be good. The pickup here for Navi, which
5
I don't
seconds remaining.
love, I don't hate. It's okay.
Yeah, it's always want to fly. This is his hero. He's got, I believe, over 1,000 games. Might be closing in on 1,500. I think he's second or third most played on the hero in professional play. And with Storm, I'm a big fan because you've got this core hero that's going to scale and typically look to make plays a screen away. Phoenix gives you this ability to follow up with the Storm, add a bit of damage, sure, but mostly provide that team fight that makes it significantly more difficult to counter-initiate onto the Storm Spirit, which is the dream. You lack that team fight, especially if you're first pick and Storm out the gate. Like that they ban Wraith King, make Yatoro play something else, especially if they're going to keep banning carries.
It's dwindling here. There's a little bit of me that would kind of like to see Spirit go, hey, you know what? We'll show you how the anti-mage is done. You don't think they would? I'd like to see them do that. We'll say, hey, Navi, this is how it's done.
No,
What, you just don't like the hero? Or
you've got karma on your side, right?
You don't want to become
You don't want to be those guys like, we're gonna pick Image back. We're better than you. Because then you get into a third game scenario and you just feel silly. I think AM is definitely strong. I've been reading a bunch, talked to a couple of players who think it's going to be something we see more this season, and I agree. I think we were just talking about the shard backstage. It's very good. Reduce basically 2 talents in 1 shard, or 2 old talents. Mm-hmm. The blink CD reduction and a little bit of extra range, but I'm just not a believer. I think that the patch right now rewards fast play. They took a Roche at 17 minutes with Wraith King having armlet. Thanks to the start off. He literally was tanking Roche a bit and healing and staying full HP because of how much he was getting lifesteal.
I mean, what carries that? Ursa still in the pool? You a fan of Ursa? Take down the egg?
It's all right. I'm not a huge fan. Same reason I don't like it against Undying. Because, in theory, you can kill it. But that means that your hard carry, your Battle Fury hero, is dealing with this immovable structure. Maybe you're killing a support, sure, but that's your entire open. Are you really going to want a BKB to kill a 5-position egg?
I was going to say Troll.
Bang, bang.
The reason why, he's got a fancy new shard.
True that.
Right?
That's true.
What if his problems is he pops ultimate, right, and he can't actually target some of these structures. He has to hit a hero. Well, he can actually use his shard ability, which gives everyone else attack speed.
Absolutely. Well, plus 70, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's actually, it's Battle Frenzy, I think.
Yeah.
Something. It's really good, actually, against egg.
Absolutely. It's a long cooldown, which is the downside, but, it's shorter than egg, so, you're going to have it up with Supernova. Or at least it's very similar to Supernova.
And if you buy an Ags, the defensive dispel when you pop Ags is pretty cool as well.
Yeah. I think,
against Orchid and the Fire Spirit.
When you consider all the carries that were banned out, Troll was Yeah, that's the one left that's solid as ever.
That's probably why they third pick it too, because really,
you're running out.
what are you left with? You don't want to pick a Spectre into these heroes, and outside of him, I just don't see anything that's super meta at the moment.
I mean, talking about Spectre, do you think Navi want to pick a Spectre?
It's not bad. I'm a big fan of Spectre Storm as a combo. Old Fnatic, now EG, like to run it quite a bit. It's all right against Void Spirit and Willow, but Troll can move a little faster than you.
I don't like it just because you don't see the support duo yet, right? And Willow already has an escape against both of those heroes, right?
Yeah. I would take your 4 position here. I think Earth Spirit in the pool would make the most sense to me. Is Tusk still available?
Yeah, Tusk is still available.
Either one works.
Pango is still available.
We shall see. They're taking a lot of time, though. This is.
What do you think about Axe? Axe against Troll. Axe has been picked up a little bit more. It's a classic combo with Phoenix as well.
Your first pick, you just take your 4 position.
Sure,
I don't think you want to complicate things. I can see Axe definitely being solid, but that's why I'm concerned. Navi, they're running a lot of time off the clock, and you got to figure this is just the support. Unless they, to your point, think that the offlane pool is also limited enough. There's no Centaur, Mars, or Puck. I guess you're not really running.
I think they do have to. You got to think about that lane, because we saw last game, right? Ramses did not have an easy time. This time he's laning against a Troll, an incredibly strong laner. Shadow Demon. I mean, this is some kite and control for the Troll.
Maybe a Luna.
I mean, this does lead the way of potentially a sort of a ranged agi carry, Luna, Drow, something along those lines. If they want to go that way.
All three. Not great against Troll though.
5 seconds remaining.
We shall see.
Wouldn't mind seeing. I don't know if he plays a lot of it. How good's the Ramses Pango?
Oracle.
I would imagine it's not bad. I mean, I would trust Ramses to play almost anything, but he's going to go straight for a morph. That's even better, actually. We talked about the Manta being buffed. Yeah. It's pretty much tailor-made for Morph. He also had the change to the attribute shift, which some players consider a buff, even if you do have to worry about your mana pool. Really good damage amp. And the burst now, an ST, Disrupt into Soul Catcher, Wave through E-Blade combo is pretty much a soul kill on anybody. And it's a high reach against these 2 backline supports that can just explode.
This does explain, the Oracle pickup does explain why Navi took so much time, right? They read the Oracle pickup, and that's why they grabbed the Shadow Demon, right? So they were discussing, they got Troll, they're going to do an Oracle Troll combo, what do we do about this? And they had to find a solution early on. I like the fact that they were able to come up with something that I feel counters it quite well.
10 seconds remaining.
Why do you say that? Just because you removed the edict?
5 seconds.
You remove the heal as well.
Oh, it's a good point.
When you're a perch, even when ulted, you only take damage.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a really good point. Because I'm like, what do you mean, Cat? That doesn't get rid of ultimate. But yeah, you have a really good point. Because it gets rid of everything. The salves, the earn charges. Okay, that is really cool. Yeah.
Let's get rid of salve.
I would assume, it's dispellable, right?
Salve is dispelled.
I think so. I think Paul might be right on this.
I never knew that.
Navi's turn to ban.
I feel it has to. It's a positive buff. It's like regen runes dispellable. It's the same concept.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're right, Carl.
They ban out Axe themselves. Good choice. I think that hero for both sides would be quite strong here. Navi, of course, will have the selection out of this phase, and then Spirit will have overall last pick. Do keep in mind, that Void Spirit could be flexed. It's not a terrible matchup up top.
I think it'll be unlikely, though. I would be surprised. I mean, because we already said, right? That I mean, sure, it's not great against Storm, but I don't think it's going to be a matchup that Tokyo is going to feel too scared to play.
I don't know if that's the right choice, though, for Navi with that ban of the Sand King. I'd be more afraid of this ranged spellcaster. We talked about, I would say Necrophos would be ideal, but into SD Storm, it's a little tricky.
You don't want Necrophos to do as much magic, but do you? You're going to get blown up.
This concept of a hero, I'd rather see a Viper or a Pugna, right, than a melee initiator style, because I think that you already have enough catch just because you have this Void Spirit. This Troll is going to be looking to play aggressive. You don't have late game. So if I'm Spirit, I'm setting up an offlaner that's going to be more of a damage dealer.
It'd be super tricky if they did 3 Void Spirit. And then you know what they do? Mid Huskar.
Huskar's pretty. He's back
Huskar
right now.
Oracle with a
pretty close
as well that reduces regen on a hero like Morphle.
Yeah, Huskar.
I dig that. I like that the most.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Because that's the thing. So I'm thinking, to your point, the heroes I want to see picked for the offlane are more 2 styles. So a better choice could be, just put Void Spirit offlane and pick one of these, damage dealers. Synergize with the Oracle. A Death Prophet's not terrible either. That's still available. But I agree. Most value out of a mid.
I wouldn't like it for any other hero, but for Huskar, I'd be down for moving the Void Spirit to the sideline if I want to go Huskar.
But that's just because, as you said, for Toronto, Tokyo, you really like.
Yeah, I feel like he's going to want to play Void Spirit regardless. That would be the one situation if they want to do the Huskar route.
How things have changed with when Navi had General, first pick Beastmaster. With Ramses, all the way to last pick.
I mean, there was a patch that happened as well. Beastmaster is an entirely different kind of hero now.
I mean, I have similar. We'll wait till Europe comes up on the broadcast for me to bring up another roster change that makes less sense. And so that's a nice pick, actually. Pretty good lane against the Morphling. Percent-based damage, very good against the Beastmaster. The root is excellent against the Phoenix and the Storm. So not basically the same hero type as we were talking about Viper Pugna, because it's damage. That's what Underlord can really provide you, and not bad. Teamfight item buyer.
Reset against the Phoenix egg as well, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes he just pops the egg and you just okay, we're calling it on this team fight. Let's call a taxi home, everybody. Okay, well, it sounds like to me you guys are kind of leaning towards Team Spirit again. Yeah?
I'd say so.
I think it's definitely closer. I like this draft from Navi much more than the Anti-Mage lineup that came in with the first game, but I don't know, there's something about just leaving it to last, getting this last pick Beastmaster for Ramsey. I'm just a little concerned. I was underwhelmed, of course, by the performance from the two of them on that bottom lane last game, and I don't quite know if they're going to have the tools to do anything that much better. I think the Troll, strong laner, Spirit, with the way that they played last game, they're going to be able to deal with whatever Navi throw at them, and whilst I don't think it'll be as one-sided as game one, I think Spirit will still take this match.
Yeah, I definitely feel like that duo, right? Mm-hmm. Shadow Demon Beastmaster, that's going to require a lot of coordination.
Yeah, I am not I'm not sold on this Navi lineup, and I just once again think that they're picking real complex concepts to try and win games with for a team that can't have had enough practice to feel comfortable with it for this new season.
Okay.
Spirit.
Fair enough. All right. Both sides going Team Spirits, and we'll have to see if it is actually going to be 2-0. We're going to be seeing a Game 3 Navi. Our hopes on the major. It all starts at the beginning of the season, weirdly enough. Every single series matters, and of course, every single caster matters as well. We've got Moxie, we've got Fog to take us through this story.
Oh, I'm really feeling the love. Thanks, Cap. You feeling that love all the way over there, Fogged?
I am. I love everyone. I miss everyone.
I know. We miss you too, buddy. Hopefully. Fingers crossed, everybody. Keep your fingers crossed for Fogged. But, so game number 1 looking very much like a textbook kind of style play coming out from Team Spirit. We've got game number 2, though, and, it doesn't look like they're going to be able to crush the lanes quite as hard as they were able to in game number 1.
No, but the bottom lane could still be, the safe lane for the side of Spirit could still be amazing again. Like, Miposhka and Yatoro had some excellent synergy, and I love the duo they got right now. We've got Oracle Troll versus probably Beastmaster Shadow Demon. Sounds like a really good lane for the Oracle and the Troll. Sounds really tough for the Navi side. Shadow Demon, a hero that it's just weird. I don't know how I feel about this hero right now too, because he hasn't gotten enough love. I feel he got some slight changes, but nothing too dramatic.
Mm-hmm. What would you have preferred to see, perhaps laning with this Beastmaster?
I mean, just a more aggressive hero. I don't know. Shadow Demon just feels like this weird 4 because it's a 4 position without a disable. You play more reliantly about saving and playing maybe with Soul Catcher and stuff to burst heroes, but it just, I don't know. The hero just feels a little lackluster as a 4. Iceberg, they might actually just get him here.
They get the root into place, followed up with that Aether Remnant, dragging him right back in again, and they try to use these brambles to their advantage. And Iceberg, he's very good at navigating the maze, but it's still going to be Toronto Tokyo. Gets the first blood, and that feels very good. Taking down the enemy mid laner and getting a little something for yourself, too.
Yeah, now he just buys a stick immediately. So the lane, last time we saw the Storm do very well versus that Void Spirit, we could see a difference just because of being able to start with a little bit more mana, a little bit more things to play around with it. Just off of the bat, they're getting that kill. Seeing themselves trying to set up for 3 or 4 bounties. They should actually get themselves to 3 at the least. And maybe, oh my god, always want to fly.
Yeah, he is not looking great here because they've got plenty of lockdown. Is forced to take the Icarus dive early. That is not what you want to grab as a Phoenix player.
Yeah, I don't know. Hero just feels a little lackluster as a 4. I Iceberg, they might actually just get him here.
They get the root into place, followed up with that Aether Remnant, dragging him right back in again, and they try to use these brambles to their advantage. And Iceberg, he's very good at navigating the maze, but it's still going to be Toronto Tokyo. Gets the first blood, and that feels very good. Taking down the enemy mid laner and getting a little something for yourself, too.
No, that is quite brutal for sure. That's going to hurt V-Tune's lane quite a bit. He's not going to be able to apply nearly as much pressure to Collapse, and Collapse should get away with a lot down here. So, all right, again, Team Spirit setting themselves up for pretty good success start of this game. All three lanes should have pretty solid stuff going on here. Iceberg should still win that mid matchup, but that stick, little things do make a difference.
They do indeed. Now, as a Phoenix player, I have to ask you, Puck, because you're obviously an expert here. Is it better to have just died there than to have picked up the Icarus dive?
Oh God, it wasn't first blood, so maybe honestly, but you know what? He took it. It's tough to really just say straight up there that it's going to hurt the laning because, Morphling's gotten a little bit, buffed and nerfed, right? The attribute shift is actually a lot better now at the start. So he should be able to just farm down here fine. It's not like the Phoenix has to beat or the zone these heroes out that much.
But it does feel very difficult for V2 because already the Phoenix sitting so low is forced to use all of that regen. And speaking of needing regen in that middle lane, Iceberg not looking too healthy here either. It's very close to the bottle, luckily, but... That's Tokyo definitely feeling I always want to fly.
He actually got him. Oh my God.
There's a courier kill as well in the top lane. Ramsey's courier will go down to Maposhka.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Already a bit of a spiral out of control, at least in the small moments. As we see bottom, V-Tune. If the lane positioning starts pushing too far forward, this is going to be really difficult for that Morph to get the farm. This is where Atrophy Aura really starts to just be excellent. And V-Tune, he's actually skilled Adaptive Strike at level 2. It's called the Bramble.
Looking a little suspect here. They had just a little bit more damage. They would have gotten themselves a kill.
So close. Mira was actually just shy of the mana to have Shadow Realm. Otherwise, that was going to be a kill. Yeah, that was... Oof. And they're just going to continue the spam onto them too. They're very low on regen down bottom as well on both of these heroes. This great lane for Team Spirit again, and they're going to be able to slow down V-Tune.
This definitely is not the way that Navi wanted to start their game off.
Definitely not. But, things like that happen. You're forced to skill Icarus dive to survive. You get killed anyway.
Yeah.
You're going to have to accept the fact that it might be a little bit of a difficult one, but he's getting blasted.
Hey, free TP at the very least, right?
Yeah.
Gotta look on the bright side of things.
TPs are real valuable now. I definitely have noticed a lot of times when players are caught in positions where they're just like, oh my God, I didn't buy a TP leave. You just forget sometimes now.
Well, then they're so expensive now for the supports.
Yeah.
It is, we're not seeing those rotations quite as often just because of the fact that, TPs are so costly.
You know what? Good. Remember the days of 135 gold TPs, now everyone can suffer as well. As top, a nice block actually from Roger. The Shadow Poisons almost picking out.
Yeah, it's gotta be careful. There's a fifth one on him, yeah. Nicely done by Roger. Lord knows they need one of their lanes to be going a little bit better.
Definitely. And it's not an easy lane up top, right? The Troll versus Beastmaster has always been a pretty good matchup for the Troll. Roger just playing it clutch. This is where the Shadow Demon's a little weird, but he can do some cool plays like that if you see the opportunity. It's gonna get harder though. Fate's Edict maybe get skilled even at level 3. On Miposhka, 3 or 4 he'll have it guaranteed, and then you can't go for those nearly as often.
And the amount of nuke damage that an Oracle can output if he decides to go for, the point of Purifying Flames at level 3 is intense. It's a very scary lane.
Especially with Troll. Troll, it's just one of the best pairings with Oracle. You just have so much chase, so much damage, so many different ways to catch it.
Dire's middle tower.
Miposhka again.
Might be able to make...
You get a little sick of Roger.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that. But he is going to throw out a couple more stacks here. We'll get a nice netting off, and they'll be able to go use the banishment there over onto Yatoro, so... Iceberg
disruption could get a little annoying this game for sure, especially versus Troll. Like when he does pop the ulti later on, you do have some nice ways to kite him out. They will have problems with catch and just Troll overall though. They have a Beastmaster roar and a Vortex. That's pretty much their 2 actual stuns in the game versus some pretty elusive heroes on the side of Team.
Oh, again, always want to fly, taking a decent amount of damage, but still has the Icarus dive available. I think the thing I'm concerned about here is... on both sides, right? Because Maposhka, he is the person that you want to try to grab early on, especially during team fights. You don't want him to be able to save. So you have a Storm Spirit for that. But on the flip side of things, you've got this Void Spirit who's going to be hunting after the Shadow Demon, no doubt. Oh, I think if they have the vision, this is a kill, maybe? No. Nope, don't quite
Close.
have that vision. Might have been
close.
very,
Yeah, and also,
very close.
for the Storm, it's going to be tough too. Like, he wants to get in the backlines, right? But you know that it's very likely that this Underlord, he's going to build the standard items, right? These healing items that Storm really doesn't like playing versus. Even a little jolt of healing your backline heroes, it trips him up. And he's playing versus lots of roots. Like, he's got pits, he's got grapples. There's going to be a lot of things tripping up that Iceberg Storm in the mid game.
Ooh, the jump over onto V2. He's going to be able to waveform forward. Goes right into the brambles, but is going to survive here.
Underlord pick is working really well in the lane. I love this percent damage and just that little percent reduction damage toward the Morphling too. It's nice.
Definitely helps. 6-minute runes coming up. Roger throws out the disruption. He denies the rune. So it'll be a sad Toronto Tokyo, but Roger's got to be feeling pretty happy with himself. Take some of that anger out over on Iceberg here in the mid lane.
Immediately glyphs the wave too, so with that catapult he's trying to apply some good pressure. Get some decent damage. Even he's gonna tank the tower. Okay, he's gonna tank with his bottle, wait for the next wave, and he's gonna keep hitting this tower mid. This is a nice move by Toronto.
Goes down for little vision, goes for a bit of a dive here over onto Iceberg because he knows he's got the catapult. Tower though. He'll get a shot or two off.
Yeah, he's very safe to do this. 19 wand charges, raindrop. He knows he can push his limits. Gets like half the tower. Not bad.
Yeah.
Waits for it.
Not necessarily the hero you think taking, half a tower right off the bat here. But some smart creep manipulation. Makes it happen.
Yeah, and he knows he doesn't have to help side lanes, right? Because of how well they're all going. The Troll's doing excellent top, Underlord doing great down bottom, so he can just pay attention to his lane rather than making the rotations just yet. Now he's got full bottom. Maybe he can TP if he sees an opportunity.
I think Mira's dead here.
Do his own thing.
Oh no! Last second gets into the fountain there with the TP. Very close. Couple of stacks of Shadow Poison over on Teatro. It's gonna be a fourth. Oh, look how low he ticks there.
He's got that Oracle behind us, so he'll be able to get healed up a decent chunk. He's also got Ring of Health already. He'll be able to stay in pretty decently. But that gives space to Ramses, who almost actually has his Dominator finished. Pretty decent timing for him. And he's level 6 now, so this top lane, it's done. Pretty damn good. A lot better. Infinitely better than the last game.
The last game was an absolute disaster for Ramses and Roger, so it's nice to see them finally get a laning phase. Now, is that the second one that he's done?
Radiant's middle tower
It's
is
being
under
mean,
attack.
because they're not killing Beastmaster top, so Roger's feeling some freedom to move around to set up for those. Really good stuff. Much better. Yeah, good stuff for Roger. Doesn't want to have 10 deaths again this game.
It's more fun to have an evenly balanced game than a stop, for sure.
Yeah.
Be interested to see when we're going to start seeing rotations being made. Coming out. In fact, Toronto Tokyo is in this top area here. Is right underneath the ward, though. It's interesting that Ramses is continuing to just play so far up, considering that he does have the vision. Step forward here. Drag back with the taunt. To use the roar. Nothing comes of it. Roger throwing out the Shadow Poison. That's about all he can do. They do force out the TP now from Phoenix, which I'm not sure if this is the play. I'm surprised
That's definitely weird.
Yeah, right? You have vision. You know that they're coming, and he's still stuck around that long. And, yes, V-Tune should be fine here, but this Underlord is going to have the time of his life in this bottom lane now, when he doesn't have to worry about a Phoenix.
Yeah, they pulled both supports. I guess, I don't know who there must be some type of communication that was going on between them, but like Storm, he's jungling. He doesn't really want to TP right now or go anything like that. Morphling definitely never TPs up top, so the two supports, it's up to them, and yeah, they just... The Shadow Demon, if he's there instantly, he can maybe get the disrupt and save, but Phoenix doesn't help too much.
No.
Not a hero that TPs
and they're still up here. They've got the vision. They spot Ramses. They know he doesn't have the roar. It's a good save here from Roger for a little bit longer, but it's still going to end up with the dead Ramses, I have a feeling. Yes, it's another kill here for Toronto Tokyo.
That's why they call me the Hidden One.
2 successful rotations, even under vision.
They've had vision every time. It's strange that I don't know.
Yeah, not sure. I don't know. Navi's definitely being a bit passive now. Just little slight mistakes, and now Iceberg, he's continuing to jungle. Now he's looking to get involved bottom. Nice.
And that's a pickup on collapse. So realizing that everyone's been hanging top, Iceberg makes the intelligent play to go bottom and try to get something out of that.
Yep, looks like he's farming a little bit of this stack here. He's actually going to leave the rest of it for V-Tune to finish off, and he'll have a good timing on that Orchid still. You know, him just jungling has worked out really well. His Beastmaster has been now significantly shut down. As I was mentioning, he almost had the Dominator earlier. He still almost has the Dominator now because of those 2 deaths, so that hurts quite a lot for Ramses.
Get the water boy service here from Maposhka as they'll fill up the bottle there for Toronto Tokyo. I love the way that they're playing around the map, though, on the side of Team Spirit. I like the way they're being very, very aggressive.
Yeah, very aggressive, and even when they do have downtime, look at this. A double stack from Mira, setting up his troll for success later on when he has Battle Fury. A stack from the Oracle, too, so they're not wasting any time. They're always making some type of pressure move or some type of play. Navi right now, they're kind of just chilling. Roger as well as always want to fly. Now have hit 6, so maybe they want to go try to set up some type of play. And I believe that is the Dominator now.
Is there anything more beautiful than efficient Dota 2 playing? You gotta love it.
When no one's wasting time, because there's always something better that you can do in Dota, right? So it's just miraculous when you get to see people not wasting even a heartbeat. As we see the smoke in mid, maybe playing around the 12-minute rune, it looks like this time around. And Navi looking to try to pressure top, but let's see who gets hit.
I'm waiting for Roger to show up and do his normal shenanigans and then just be completely surprised. But Iceberg, hold it to 4 though. Toronto Tokyo is going to get dragged back. Nope. Are they going to be able to keep him alive just a little bit longer? Yes, he's going to be just fine. The Sunray coming in, it saves them for just a little bit, but they have the nuke. The Roar's going to come out as well here, as they're going to have to go in for the egg. Mira will fall. But at the end of the day, that's an egg, and they've lost their mid laner here, only for a support.
Egg and a roar. They actually had to use both.
Yeah.
I think always want to fly, maybe just panicking a little bit there, but a very precise hit from Spirit and very appropriate one as they make space for the troll. V-Tune's still farming, but Iceberg does finally get taken out, and that's right before he had Orchid finish. That's a very precise kill.
They look like professional hitmen there. It is very nice.
Another kill. I mean, Spirit, like, not missing a beat. Every single one of these plays working out really well. We still do have V-Tune having a very good game. He's been enabled quite nicely, and he's actually able to apply some pressure on towers now here. But yeah, that was a good one. And now they're able to actually hit the bottom tower too, and that should pretty much finish up the Battle Fury for Yatoro. So he has a lot of farm, and he'll have a lot of stacks to work on right afterwards to enable himself even more.
Well, you know, when you work hard and you get your work done, you take down the towers, you know, sometimes you get these nice treats, like a nice stack from your supports, you know?
Yeah,
you gotta work hard, guys.
He's scanning behind the tower, continues to get the push going. Them right now.
Look at
They're
this.
trying to pressure a little more, though, because of that cooldown, as we said. You know, the roar and that egg being down. They're really trying to get these 2 towers.
Look at the way they're playing, too. Like, they're trying to stick over in the tree line here. They are going to get nuked down by the Sunray. From Always Want to Fly, so they'll clear it up for now, but I have a feeling they will be returning soon as Ramses brings his entire zoo over into the mid lane and wants to do a bit of D-push. I will say that V-Tune has, as before, has been doing a stand-up job and just making sure that he finds farm around the map, even though the rest of his team is struggling a bit to make that space for him.
He always does seem to, no matter what the game state is. Even last game, right, in the AM, he's 2-1. It feels bad, but he did his job. He actually did do everything he could do that game.
He kept up and farmed, but it's just the rest of his team fell too far behind that game.
Yeah, it really did. It felt like an impossible AM game once all things started to pick up the pace. This time does not really feel that much of an impossible Morphling game. Still going to be quite a task for him, but look at this. Farming these Ancients nicely, so he'll be able to match Toro, who has Battle Fury. He'll now farm his Ancients. Radiant's mid that mid tower, that big one here.
Yeah, they're taking a lot of the available real estate here on the map over here on the side of Team Spirit. And with that Battle Fury done, we should be seeing Yatoro really start to escalate with this farm.
And they're getting farm on everybody. That's the important thing. That we see. I even see Mira. He's taking a good amount of farm on himself because he wants to get a vessel at a decent timing. Versus the Phoenix, versus the Morphling, of course. Very beneficial if he's able to get that farm. So everyone, they're still just kind of chilling with this game state. Not really looking for any big fight. If it comes to them, they'll take it, but not fully hunting for it just yet.
I like the vision that they placed up over here on the side of Team Spirit into the bottom part of the woods here on Radiant's side. Be able to keep nice tabs, might be able to get some sort of a pick off as well, because, you know, someone's going to be jumping in and defending that tower.
Yeah, I like that they doubled it, right? Like, you sometimes only see, like, the one ward. The fact that they put two, it's definitely really nice.
Gives you a lot of information.
Yeah, exactly. You get information from both avenues, so you're always covered. I see Collapse going for this pipe. I saw he had Atos queued up. I'm actually glad he switched it up. I looked at Navi, and it's like everything is just magic damage, and it's not that much actual control, so he'll be able to get the pipe off. It's going to do significant damage for this Navi draft.
He's a big, tanky lad, too, that Underlord. Be able to do a lot of frontlining here.
Yeah, I want him to do pipe like Solar Crest. They have to get a Solar Crest buyer on their team. It's the best item in the patch, it feels like, as Ramsey's farming very aggressively.
Yeah, he is dead here.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
They're trying to get his helmed up creep, too. The tomato. It's like it might be able to survive, but...
Looks to go space. As they're attempting for a Roshan with that, with the DD Morphling. They should be able to get this one for free. It's dying very quick because of that DD.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they have any idea that they're in the pit right now, actually. And no one on the side of Team Spirit is in position. So this is exactly what Navi wants to do here.
Has fallen to the ring.
Ramses will tell you it was on purpose that he died. You know, he drew their attention so that they can secure.
It's about confidence, too, right? It's about, you know, confidently saying, yeah, I meant to do that. And just going right back in again.
More stacks, stack gaming, both sides. We see Radiant Navi, Roger stacking up, actually, I think the triple stack? Oh, he missed the triple. I got the double, though, and we have 17-minute mark, so new neutral items as well. Spirit's still trying to play around their wards. Get one new neutral.
Nice.
Ooh, a nice one for V-Tune. The shawl.
Hard at work on that Scotty as well.
Yeah, not sure what shawl, I don't know.
Oh,
It seems like it's one of those items that's crazy, but...
Is a dead always want to fly. It does have the cursed crown. I'm not sure if they're going to leap after him here, though. So it looks like he's going to be just fine.
Ball jump. Nice break.
I'm a little surprised that he's trying to make this play on a tanky Underlord with the pipe. Leap forward here, Toronto, Tokyo. Will be able to find himself at least one. Oh, nice play there by Ramses, throwing that creep over to tank it. Yatro needs to be careful here. They do get a nice fear off. We'll push back the Morphling, and they get the heal over onto Yatro. Again, another root's going to get thrown back. Roar's going to get used as well. The rest of the team to leap forward here. Yatro, he has his ultimate, though. He's going to go right back in again. The Aegis does go down. Iceberg will fall. Notcher next to fall as well. Yatro just chasing after everyone that he possibly can, but over and back on the side. V-Tune does manage to finally get the hit over onto Yatro. Nice pit of malice, though, coming out again from Collapse, holding them into place. They've got the Curse Crown here over onto V-Tune. The drawback over onto Ramses. It should be the next victim on the side of Team Spirit. They still are chasing after V-Tune, but he navigates the brambles very nicely, so he is going to be able to walk away from this. They end up losing the Aegis. They end up losing the Troll as well.
Great positioning from Spirit in the fight. I love watching the way that the supports played there. They saw the way they identified the fight too, right? Storm, low on mana, they just full out aggression to try to catch him. Nice play from V-Tune, switching between the Underlord a lot there. We're seeing them extra pits, extra firestorms coming out in the lines there. But yeah, Spirit, these two supports just sat in the back and got everything off. Not a single spell really hit them.
Wish fulfilled.
Well, again, it did feel a little confusing to see the initiation coming out onto the Underlord. Not usually the target you want to go after. Nice play there again with the creep. But look at the positioning of the supports.
Yeah, look, they're just all the way on the right side. We're going to see it like the entirety of this here. Instant reset. The Demonic Purge, we see exactly what the panel was talking about, how effective it can be. They threw a salve, they threw an urn on him to try to save him. It all gets insta-dispelled. But he does get the ult off, the most important thing for his team, because of all this positioning. Just playing on that right side together, avoiding the egg. Just, yeah, great synergy. They're killing it.
Looks like they might be killing something else here, too. Go hold the Phoenix into place with the root. And Curse Crown. Baposhka will get the final hit. Ooh, Ramses now gets spotted here by Yatro. Uses the roar. Hangs around a little bit. I think he was thinking maybe some teammates might be coming around, but hightails it out of there.
Is under attack.
Now no roar for 80 seconds. It's a pretty long one. continue to make these aggressive moves.
Yeah.
Spirit continuing to do a really good job this game. Still not a massive lead. VTune still having this good game, but they are really shutting down the Beastmaster a lot this time around too. And the Storm, his Orchid timing, it hasn't been. He hasn't really found much of anything with this 1, 3, and 1.
Oh, the zip.
Something maybe.
Yeah, it's like, look at these Power Ranger TPs coming out. Toronto Tokyo is going to survive as they fall with a beautiful pin of mounts. Iceberg is forced to run away. They're going to try to root him into place, try to get that hands on them, but they're not going to be able to quite do it as VTune turns himself into the Void Spirit. And they're going to back off. They did force so many TPs after they jumped on Toronto Tokyo.
That was close. They used the Purge too, so he tried to like Yules himself in the air to get rid of the Orchid. He drops down immediately, but is able to get away. Iceberg though.
Well, they've smoked up over on the side of NAVI and they've placed themselves behind VTune. Doesn't seem like Team Spirit is quite taking that bait just yet.
They don't have anyone going. So as you said, the Atos was built on Collapse, so no Solar Crest. That's going to be a bit of a painful thing for that troll. Where they're on the other side, we do have a Solar Crest. It is done on the Beastmaster, so that's going to be a Morphling who's really buffed up. He has Inner Beast. He's got all these different elements, just make him a bit stronger in the fights.
Smoke has run out over on the side here.
Regen. Iceberg wants it. Another big rune. So Arcane Rune versus Regen Rune. Which one wins out?
I think the Arcane Rune, right? Unless you can purge it off.
I think so.
Because you can cancel out a regen rune very easily. Still, it's nice to get a little present in the river. But Spirit feels like they're just dodging, maybe not necessarily dodging, but they're just moving around the map and predicting the way that Navi wants to chase after them. Smoke comes out,
They definitely
though.
want to fight, though. With that Arcane Rune, they definitely want to look for this battle. Can they catch something here? It looks like
It's Ramses. Yeah, he just happens to be the most forward person here, and he's going to get obliterated.
Jeez, they just tip him immediately. Mira the bully.
I saw some tips coming out the other day, too.
Everyone's having fun with them. They're always good. They're always getting good jest.
Why don't we ever see wholesome? I mean, we see a couple wholesome tips, right? I think I've seen GH put out the wholesome tip every once in a while.
Well, I think, what was it? Not yesterday, the day before. We had the teams like saying like, "Good luck, 1-1 now." Like they were like actively talking to each other about like the score of the game and stuff. Like that was fun.
Well, that's nice.
Clearly, just like friends for a long time or something like that.
I like to see it. Unless you're at NA where they know each other for a long time and they still just razz on each other. The Fear was getting wound up here by Mira, but the BKB comes out from Iceberg. He's going to zip forward. Already, though. He just throws himself into the Shadow Realm. They're not going to be able to get anything. And that is a BKB down, Fog. They can make something happen off of this now.
He panicked a little bit. He walked into the bramble and then he's like, "Oh my god, like if I get connected by a Fear, I'm just dead." So he instantly BKBs and bam, right into Roche Team Spirit. They're not hesitating at all when that BKB charge is wasted.
I want to see a Solar Crest, though, like you said. It's just such a good game. Like, again, not even just a good game, it's just such a good item period right now. It seems odd that we haven't seen it picked up at all. Just be careful, because they're looking to fight this. Roche, less than half health here. Bash over onto the troll. Flame Spirit's coming out as well. They've got the pipe. BKB out over here over onto Yatoro. He wants to finish this up, and there it is. The jump forward is still not going to be enough. It's going to be the Aegis going over to Yatoro as he just keeps trying. Look at this fighting going through, but he does eventually get stunned up, and the Sunray is doing so much damage onto the backline. They try to zip over into Maposhka. They're not going to be able to quite grab him in time. Now Maposhka forced to use his ultimate on himself. They turn around, though, and they manage to go and just root this poor Morphling into place. Disarmed, though, coming out over here onto the troll, but they're still just chonking away over here onto Morphling. They control him so well that perhaps just a little bit too late coming out of Ramses, because now he's just getting hunted. Toronto, Tokyo, jumping over on the high ground. Oh, right at the end of the Pit of Malice. Right on the edge. They take down Ramses.
So big fights coming up from Spirit. They force this like panic play from Navi to egg and everything around the pit so they can maybe secure something. But Yatoro, I believe he got, let's see who actually got the cheese, but he got the shard, he got the Aegis, he got what he came for. And I mean, V-Tune, the control that they get on him, this Atos heavily paying off with the hits. It's too much for him. He was strength morphed very early on, all the way up. He doesn't do any damage then.
It took so much to take him down. Again, you see that BKB coming out from Yatoro fairly early. He wants to ensure. There's the hit. Just snaps up that Aegis as fast as possible.
He almost died right there and then. Like, it was actually quite close to him.
He had the cheese.
Okay, he used it there. That's what I thought. I thought something happened there because he got full healed up. But nice, good positioning.
Frick forcing out that BKB. He's going to teleport out. Should be absolutely fine here. They don't have any way to cancel it out just yet. But double damage.
Again, he keeps having to just like use his BKBs defensively and get out. He's not able to get like any kills. Like, honestly, Spirit is... They're taking these fights so well. These two supports, every single time, they're getting so many rounds of spells off. Everybody's doing their job perfectly. Navi's falling apart a bit. It's 13-4 with a 9k lead.
Is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Definitely feels a bit tough here, but everybody's getting into the car because they want to go and make some moves here on the bottom lane. Ramses, though, buys a bit more time. The rest of the team is nearby, but I don't think they were expecting that Yatoro and the Poshka would be here. So now V-Tune forced to just... Oh, no, he turns back around, gets the kill onto Maposhka.
This time he's able to get at least one of the pickoffs. He does get the Orchid off, but again, Ramsey's getting grabbed. And who'd they actually give... I think they gave the shard to the Willow? Okay,
Yes.
they did.
So
I actually thought there was a good chance that Yatoro takes himself because of the attack speed that you can use versus Egg on the Rampage. It's actually pretty nice, but maybe he just thinks that it's more beneficial to have on that Willow overall in the general.
It's more lockdown, right? It's more lockdown. It's very... I don't think you really can step around the brambles because they're so close together after the Cursed Crown proc.
It's annoying.
It's pretty tight.
It's more roots, more control that V2 doesn't have a BKB for.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many little things, like these pits and these roots and everything that he is dealing with, that he actually has to go for BKB now because of it. Toronto, Tokyo.
There is nothing for you.
Easy kill.
Yeah, that Phoenix just can't be alone on the map at this point. He's just going to get hunted no matter what.
Ooh, and he's actually, okay, he's gone for the Spell Amp talent too now, too. That is going to be so much damage coming out from him. He's also going the Sange and Kaya. That's going to be nice.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Well, clean up here on the top lane, finish off the tier 1, and the rest of Team Spirit rolling pretty closely together, aside from
is under attack.
from this Void Spirit here.
Now they have a Lotus Orb too on Collapse. He has gone for the Solar, but Lotus is one of the best items in the game as well, and will be until it does get changed a bit, because it's so effective in every type of situation, either removing silences, reflecting spells, whatnot. So many different ways now to protect your Toro. And Miposhka, he's actually gotten himself a luxury item. He has a Blink now, so he has a good way to be able to hide in the backlines even more than him and Mira have already done so successfully this game.
And his position has already been so excellent. On the bright side, though, for the side of NAVI, we do have the BKB completed now for Morphling, so it's going to be a lot harder for them to control him. My only concern is just, do they have the damage to take down the other side? Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, that's how I feel, too.
I'm glad I'm not the only one wondering this.
It's going to be hard. Tokyo is going to do so much in these fights. Look, it's Arcane Rune, Sange and Kaya, Spell Amp too. I actually can't even do the math on how much she's going to be doing in all this, but it's a lot. It's like 400 damage per Resonant Pulse.
Got a completed Bloodthorn up and running too over on the Troll.
It actually is so effective, this game, because he's playing versus these double heroes that are so reliant on mobility, right? The Morphling and the Storm. A lot of times maybe you'll see like the Basher is effective, but Silence is so good versus these two. Yeah, I like it.
It just does get reclaimed during this, but it feels like Team Spirit, they feel like they're very strong right now. Throwing out, we'll be able to go. They'll hold the Phoenix into the place here. Nice disruption, buys a little bit more time. Lotus is on here, but the BKB coming out now from Yatro. They just slice up Always Want to Fly. He's not going to be able to get an egg off. B-Tune already just waveforms himself out. They don't want to fight in that particular area, but they do buy back on Always Want to Fly.
He has no way to protect himself either. He's still so far from his Yules. He actually was close to it there, but these Resonant Pulses, these Silences, it's extremely effective.
Okay, B-Tune immediately turns himself into Collapse. There's that Lotus or BKB over onto Iceberg. But it doesn't seem to be really helping them out much at all because they already just killed Always Want to Fly. He bought back. Roger is next to fall. As they're chasing after Ramses here, they need to just try to hold him into place, forcing out the BKB. The root's going to come out, though, again. They have the Bloodthorn now, as they're just trying to slice through V-Tune. It's going to get rooted again. The slow that got the Lotus up and running. Roar's going to come out from Ramses. He buys V-Tune a little bit more time. Toronto Tokyo, though, he's hungry. He's going very far here, as Iceberg zips out. Wants to try to punish them for this, but again, these roots coming out from Collapse, they're just too good. The draw back in again, they'll get the kill on Iceberg.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
NAVI can't fight. They just have to spend the entire duration of the fight running away, and Toronto Tokyo just jumps in and assassinates both supports. Any reaction.
He is a professional hitman against the kill on Ramses, and now V-Tune is again forced to waveform around. The step forward from Toronto Tokyo, he wants this kill. They go, they throw out the whip. The disruption buys just a hair more time, but it doesn't matter. Down goes V-Tune. GG gets called, and Team Spirit are going to 2-0 this series.
Wow. And in very clean fashion. I'm very impressed with the way that they played around the map. Maybe it was a little bit on, NAVI not looking the hottest at all, with Ramses getting picked off a ton in this game again, 0 and 8 on the Beastmaster, but damn, some precise movements and precise hits. I'm loving it. Toronto.
Bye.